and welcome everybody. It's episode 30. It's the Marty Brodeur edition of Hat Trick Hockey. Ant here chilling in the studio. The boys are on Zoom today. It's going to be a great day. As always, this show is brought to you by our good friends over at GL Heritage, the official beer of Hat Trick Hockey. Big show today. It's Rob's birthday. Rob, happy birthday, brother. Look at him flexing and shit. Oh, you look at that. You ripped your shirt a little bit there.
Still there. Still there. Fucking 25. There we go.
What's going on, man?
Fucking loving life. I was just crushing some beers with Ma and Misty.
Oh, yeah?
You gotta love those two.
Mm-hmm.
They're the best. They are the best.
They are the best, dude.
It's my bad barbed wire tattoo. There you go.
That's the Bobby tattoo right there.
Let's go.
Rob, first thing before we get anything going, what is going on with that hair, bro?
Oh, I'm saving it for Mr. Brand Bazaar.
Oh,
look at there's a lot of it.
Look at this. Jeez. That's more than I could ever do.
We're going to definitely have him shave it off.
Oh, yeah. Content piece.
Easy on the burns. Easy on the burns, though, bro.
Don't worry. He'll fix you up just right. You don't have to worry about that, my friend.
Well, I know. I've seen his hairdo. I know he knows how to take care of it.
Oh, yeah. So before we get into it, actually, Marty Brodeur. So I got a few little notes here on Marty Brodeur. 22 NHL seasons, 1,266 games played, 2.24 goals against, 0.912 save percentage, 691 wins, 125 shutouts. Of course, he scored a goal, right? He's got a goal, 5 Jennings trophies for the lowest goals against average, 4-time Vezina winner, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, 2-time silver medalist at the Worlds, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 1 World Cup gold, and he went into the Hall of Fame in 2018, 2019. Is that good?
So is the episode over?
What a fucking resume on that guy, eh?
What a stud.
So, yeah, he is an absolute beauty. So I just wanted to give you a couple little notes there on Mr. Brodeur. Also, we want to give a huge shout out to the fans, to everybody who listens to us. You guys got us to fucking number 98 of hockey podcasts in all of Canada. So that is unreal. You guys are seriously amazing. Trust me, we'll keep making them. Like, it's all good. We love it.
Bro, that's a lot of hockey content. You know, like you figure the whole in all of Canada.
Yeah, all of Canada.
This is all we do. Hockey.
Yeah.
You know, we got a couple of baseball teams. Well, we had 2.
Yeah.
Now we have 1.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for everybody that's contributed.
Yeah. All of our sponsors and the fans, seriously, you guys, as in what we would say, Rob, what would we say to them? Bunch of buttes.
Wow. And if they don't know that by now,
yeah,
we'll send every one of you a shirt.
Butte. All right. So also, speaking of shirts and buttes, our online store is available. Everybody knows this. We have a link right on our Facebook page. You can just click shop now or shop or something like that. Goes right to the link. Also, pretty soon, we're going to have some new shirts coming out. We're going to also do a couple combo deals as well. So keep your eye on the store because there's going to be some action in there going on soon, Rob. So that should be good.
Well, we got Drew taking care of that, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Drew's money, man. He's all over it. So look for those coming up soon. Oh.
You like my shirt?
Yeah.
Whiskey River?
Rob wearing the wood. Don't flex too much, Rob. You'll rip it.
I know. I'm already tearing shirts up.
That's hilarious, man. Oh, before hockey talk, sorry again, guys. What did you think of the Lions parting ways with Matthew Stafford, since we're both Lions fans? Mix?
I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to say, right? Like you're gonna get a better quarterback. I don't know. Like the only thing that I see good coming out of this is that it's less. They're gonna get rid of that big salary cap
Yeah.
or quarterback cap, however you
Mhm.
want to put it.
Yeah.
But you still got to go find yourself a stud
Yeah, I
because this
know.
guy was a stud. I
I
loved
know.
him.
I know.
I really did.
So did I.
I thought he was top five in the NFL.
Dude,
So
I have his jersey, dude. Like I wore it seriously like 3 times. Like that's it. That's all I wore. I'll probably just put it up on the wall when we like move and it'll go up and
well, you couldn't wear it in the
back in.
playoffs, so I get it. So you wore it every three Thanksgivings.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much it, actually. That's hilarious. Good call. All right. On to the hockey, folks. Let's go. So
Hey,
shitty
wait
note.
though, it's
Yo,
my birthday.
yes, it is your birthday.
So just tell everybody, yeah, it's my birthday.
So I do what I want.
And I want to thank everybody that posted on the Hat Trick Hockey, the Facebook.
Mhm.
Like, you're just a bunch of buttes. Like,
Yeah.
you have no idea how much I love it. And I will find every single one of you and hug you from behind.
Only
You
from
won't even
behind
see
because of
it coming, but just let it happen. If my hand goes over your mouth, just let it happen.
COVID. Fucking weirdo. Rob. No,
Well,
I
if you
know.
don't know me, then you don't know I ain't
I
weird.
know. I know. All right. So, um, real quick, we Leafs lost a legend there. George Armstrong passed away at the age of 90. A few little notes on him. He played 21 years with the Leafs, where 12 of those he served as team captain. He had 713 career points, and he was also a 4-time Cup champ in Toronto. Played there his whole career.
Legend. Fucking legend. And
So,
I didn't get to see him because he was a little bit before my time,
yeah.
like being 25 and all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy that this guy was all about the game, all about his team.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with anything else but him for everybody else.
Yeah. So,
So
yeah.
God bless.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace. He was, yeah, definitely a Leafs legend for sure. One thing, Rob. Sometimes we do get shit right once in a while on this show. Okay, once in a while we do get stuff right. You called the trade between Columbus and Winnipeg. So, Rob, since you called the trade, so what we had here is we had Winnipeg received Pierre-Luc Dubois and a 3rd-round pick, and Columbus got Patrick Laine and Josh Ruslovic. So, what do you think about that, Rob? You hit that right on the head.
Well, a clock's right twice a day. You know what I mean? Like shit happens. I can get shit right twice a day. So I think it's a great trade. But from what I understood is that Lion didn't like living in Winnipeg.
Too
So
cold?
now he's gonna like living in fucking Ohio.
And maybe it was too cold for him.
Oh, because it's so far away
I
and it's so much warmer in Ohio.
Mhm. That's funny.
Did you see the picture where it was like Austin Matthews going number 1, Lion 2, and Dubois 3?
No, but I didn't see
I'll
that one.
I'll 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 post it on the
Yeah, throw it up on the
on our
page.
Hat Trick Hockey thing, but it was awesome. But
Mhm.
it's crazy though, like you in all honesty, I think you had better players in Winnipeg,
Mhm.
and fuck me, Torch, but
Who do you think
He
won this
left a
trade?
wagon
Yeah.
to come to your fucking shithole.
Who do you think won in this trade?
Hands down,
Yeah, if you had to choose like a clear winner of that fucking trade, who?
Columbus.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
Columbus.
too. Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% on that one.
But what's Line A going to do? He's going to go to Cedar Point every day?
It's
awesome. It's awesome.
Maybe. Whee! Oh, that's hilarious, man. Arms up. Arms up, Pat. That's hilarious, man. Also, so Joe Thornton is out for 4 weeks due to a fractured rib. So it was a weird play, eh?
It didn't look like much.
Like it must
Joey,
just hit him.
I'm just saying, Joey,
Mm.
you got to drink more milk.
Yeah,
You got to drink more milk.
you
Because
got
that
those
shouldn't have
brittle bones.
happened. But you know what? You get them big hockey player asses.
Yeah,
I could tell you. I got one.
junk in the trunk.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You can
funny.
bounce the quarter off it and they'll fucking split your lip.
You're oh my god, that's funny.
Did we GL Heritage love the blondes?
Yeah, blondes are more fun.
They are, especially mine. Fucking cute.
Total beaut.
Cute.
Also, Matthews left too, eh? But he was in the lineup Sunday in Calgary, though. So
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit.
yeah,
So he plays against Montreal and he gets fucking hacked, whacked, cross-checked. Like, I'm telling you, I don't understand what's going on with the NHL right now when it comes to that cross-checks.
yeah,
Because they're not calling any of them.
mm-hmm.
I have not seen, and we get the greatest when it comes down to hockey. The North Division is the toughest division. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm watching Matthews stand in front of the net, which, you know, and he's tough as nails.
Yeah.
But Kenny was calling me.
Hi, Kenny.
I keep fucking forgetting to shut my phone off. But regardless, he, you know, like you can't let these pro guys take hacks and whacks like that. Like, you have two of the toughest fucking defensemen in Montreal whacking on your number one draft pick.
Yeah.
So where are we? No penalties? Like, where they're buckling his knees.
Oh, I know.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Maybe well, that's when you should be sending out a guy like Wayne Simmons and say, hey,
Where he'll punch your head off your shoulders,
yeah,
which he said he would.
yeah, that's what
I
I
haven't
mean.
seen it yet.
Didn't he already fight against Montreal?
Yeah, he did fight. What was he did fight one of the defensemen, but you know, and they were down too, and then he come back to the bench. Let's go!
Yeah, oh yeah, he was like yelling.
You know, I get that, but you still, you know what? I want you to spend more time in the box than you do on the ice, and make everybody scared. Everybody should be scared of Toronto.
Yeah, they got some big boys. Let's go here, eh, Rob? All right, so
it's my favorite shirt. Let's go!
Washington. Did you hear about that shit with Washington?
I did not.
They got fined $100,000 because 4 of their players did not follow COVID protocol.
Oh, they're smoking doobies in the room.
Well, they weren't doing that, but there was 4 of them in a room. I think there might have been more, but it was Ovi, Kuznetsov, Orlov, and Samsonov. So they were all in a room. So now, I think there was more than them, but whatever. There was a bunch of guys in a room, and then it ended up where there was a positive case ended up in the room. So how they do is they do a close contact thing. So you either have to miss 7, 10, or 14 days is how they do that. So they're going to miss at least 4 games. Like, why would you put, like, that's a lot to risk. Like, that could hurt your team. Like, those guys that are out, those are like some of their top players. And
Was
then
Putin in there too?
no, he was not. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? I think they were in Buffalo, I want to say, is where they were. Like, so what do you think of that?
Well, it's tough. How do you not hang out? Like, me and you have rooms next to each other, and we got the open door. You know what I mean? Like,
The only part I don't get is, like, these guys are in the locker room together. They're on planes, buses. They're, like, on the ice at practice, like, in the locker, like, just they're everywhere together. But then, like, them hanging out, maybe it's because it was just like a room. It wasn't like I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know how what the protocol is for the NHL,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently is like you stay in your room and that's it.
Yeah, that's all. That's how all the sports are right now that are
It's
on.
basic. It's basically the bubble, right?
Yeah,
So
pretty
you
much.
do what you got to do,
Mm-hmm.
and like I saw that Ovechkin apologized for all of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Let's be honest. How serious do you think that sounded? Did you hear the quote? I don't
he's
have.
like,
I don't have the quote
we're
on
fucking, we're blowing blunts and fucking
me.
crushing chicks.
Jesus. But yeah, so that was pretty. Did your fucking power just flicker or something? Or did your light just flicker? I don't
No,
know.
bro, somebody's at the door.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Do you want to
it's
go see?
fucking Val.
Is it?
Yeah, he's coming to pick up some shit. He said he was gonna be here at 6 o'clock, but
Oh,
whatever, whatever.
all right. A little late, Val. Come on. Also,
Yeah,
so
he'll pop his head in.
yeah. So Carolina also had to shut down because they had 5 guys go on the list as well. They also had a few games canceled, but that was just for precautionary reasons.
Right.
They're actually due to hit the ice on the 28th. They'll be back against the Lightning, I believe. So they had 4 games get called off. So they're actually, like, looking after guys like in that, and they haven't had to call a lot of games really.
They are, but you know what? Be responsible. Be responsible. You make fucking bazillions of dollars.
Yeah, to play hockey.
Like, and the NHL says this is what we're going by.
Mm-hmm.
So do it.
Yeah,
You're getting paid.
Mad Skrilla, Mad dope.
You're getting paid.
You are.
Figure it out.
Well, what do you think? Should we flip over to our interview here?
Bro, I love this fucking guy. And like he has got to be one of my favorites next to Todd Warner.
Yeah.
That fucking, that Darren McCarty guy. Fuck that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I love that guy too.
Yeah.
He's a fucking total beaut.
Yeah.
4-time Stanley Cup champ. If you ain't gonna hear the end of that.
No. Woo!
Woo!
That's how we do it.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we're gonna drop part 2, Scotty Gomez. So everybody enjoy. I was fucking geeking out while I was doing this whole interview. You guys will see that. But all right, Rob, you ready?
Yeah, you'll love it.
All right, part 2, Scotty Gomez.
Roll it.
All of our, like, NHL guesses. Who did you score your first, like, NHL goal on? Who was your first goal?
My first goal was against, pretty cool too, because I was a huge Gilmore guy, so I watched a lot of Maple Leafs games. But it was Felix the Cat against the Islanders.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I think it was like my 5th game, and I think I was already getting assists, but I must have hit the post I don't know how many times. Like I should have scored my first shift ever in the NHL. First shift in Atlanta. I'm on the ice, and boys, I'm not kidding you. I'm right by the net. I'm standing there, shot from the point. Something happens. The rebound comes right to me on my stick. All I have to do is tap it in, and I have my goal. My first shift in the NHL probably led to things where I wasn't going to be a goal scorer, but I remember I shanked it, I missed, but I was like, oh shit. So it took like 4 games and 4 or 5, and we had a 2-on-1, me and Sergei Machinov, and I figured he was going to shoot, and he just slid it over, and I wasn't missing that one. And I mean, that was always cool, man. And it's cool to see when guys score the first one, because you put it in, it's just not only are you pumped, and you score in the NHL, it's at home, it's a goal, but all the guys are pumped for you too. Like it's it's kind of neat. So when you always see it on TV and you see guys that you see guys that when you played and they got their first goal, that's always a special moment, because that's something. Hey, they can never take that away. No matter what happens, you got a goal in the NHL.
Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth on that.
I think their smile is just as big as mine when that kid just scored there for
Ottawa.
And he had the biggest smile and did the celly, and I was just like, fuck, man. I was so happy for him. You know what I mean?
Oh, it was against my incredible
too, and then to beat my Leafs, which I was not happy about.
Yeah.
Wow, good for him. Like just playing.
No, it's a special moment.
Going right into that, and then scoring one, and it was a nice one, like a out of the air one timer off the just barely touch the ice and clap.
Yeah, see, mine was like if I missed that one, I don't know what happens. I mean, Chimo put it right. It was one of those he faked power play and the D that was right there, and I mean he put it right on my stick where it was just instinct. But yeah, that was always cool. That was one of it was neat. That night was it was more of a relief too, just the fact I said it. Shit, it's been 4 or 5 games now, like, and I've come close. I'm like, is this gonna happen? But yeah, it was and I can't remember if it was under review. That thank God it wasn't like the cameras are now, but I think they were checking to see if I was offsides.
Oh.
So now that I score, I think there was a kind of before they made the announcement, it was kind of like the linesmen and them had to get together, but yeah, it was good. So I'll take it, and I ran with that.
That's so awesome.
Jeez, imagine that. Well, fuck if they still are.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah, you don't want that, because there's no worse feeling when you got to wait and it gets taken away.
So you've been in the league. Well, you were there for a long time. You've had to have heard. I love asking guys, what's the best chirp you ever heard?
Oh man, I heard some. Well, I still think the funniest were like it stopped. It stopped like everyone on the ice was dying, laughing, and it's like it's Ken Danico would be in front of the net or whatever, and he's just abusing a guy, just and he got a penalty, and he yells at Billy McCreary. He's like, he's just snapping on Billy, and he's like, you can't call that. You fucking can't call that. You can't call that, Billy. And Billy's like, McCreary's like, Daniel, it was either Devo or Rashke or and he's like, Daniel, get the fuck in the box. He's like, and they're skating to the box, and he's like, and it's still by the rink, so guys are right there, still by Marty, and Daniel's yelling. He's like, you can't call that. You can't. It's not my fault. I'm the fucking strongest man in this league. It's not my fault. And he's like dead serious. And fucking McCreary, like Marty's dying laughing. I'm like, but the other team's dying laughing. And the only guy that's not laughing is Dano, because he's a brother of mine, not like that. But once you get to know Kenny, he ain't lying. He's actually believing it, that you can't call that. I'm the strongest man in the league. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. But there was one time, and this guy's one of the best teammates of all time, is Glenn Metropolitan. And Metro don't get rattled or anything. He's just a beauty. And we're in Montreal, and I think it was Brian Allen from Florida. We're by Florida's bench on the power play, and Metro starts chirping someone or says something, and it was so odd because until it happens to you, like whatever, you don't, and someone yells, he goes, "Hey Metro, why don't you hey Metro, let the fucking kids play. Get off the ice." Meaning like he's old. Yeah. And it wasn't that bad, but for some odd reason, Metro fucking took that to heart. So we get back on the bench, and Metro's like, but did you hear that? Did you hear what he said? Like, you don't think I'm too old, dude? And it was like, fuck Metro. He didn't mean like, but like, and this guy doesn't get rattled by anything. And Metro got rattled by that. It was like, yeah, but there was some good. I mean, yeah, there was guys that like, you know, I was pretty good at keeping your own, but there were some guys that just they shouldn't talk. Like someone would say something, and you're like, no, you shouldn't talk. That made no sense, and that like that's like someone told me one time they're gonna kill me. I'm gonna kill you. And I kept going at it, and finally I just stopped him. I'm like, okay, if you kill me, you probably go to jail for the rest of your life. There's 18,000 people here. They're gonna see, like, work on your line. Like, you're gonna kill me. Like, what is that like? I'm not gonna die here, brother. So yeah, I mean, there were some guys that needed help. That's for sure. What Trips they were saying.
Holy shit!
Did you ever play against like Steve Ott and guys like that?
So it's funny. Like, it's funny when you play against it was one of those on the Checker thing too. Like, well, the first time I played against Aves was just. I'm lined up against Sean Avery, and he's just going at it, chirping. He's, I don't know what he's saying to me. He's trying to get on, and I was getting ready to take a face off, and I just backed off the face off, and I just looked at him. I was like, hey man, like, I smoke pot too. Chill out, dude. And he kind of looked at me and and that was the end of that. I was like, dude, go get someone else. Like, what, like, fuck, like, it ain't gonna bother me. Otter. So Otter, when you play against Otter, I was kind of more of I was already been in the league a while. So when you play against Otter though, and it's so funny because we played later on in my career, played with him a little bit, and he became a great friend. Like, he is one of the best, if not one of the, I know I say it a lot, but he's one of the greatest teammates ever. That guy is comical. But yeah, when you had to go against Otter for the first time, it was like, what the fuck, man? Shut up. Like, yeah. But I never let it get on her skin. But Otter, he could get on a guy's skin with the best of them. There's no doubt about it.
I really loved when Tavares went back to the island, and the Islanders fans just fucking roasted him, like, and then Avery went on his what do you call it, podcast or whatever he did. He ripped the Islanders fans, calling the city like the butthole,
a bunch of dirt bags.
God!
I mean, it's Avery ain't scared to say anything, but no, I think JT understood. He knew it was going to happen. And plus, for sure, it probably got worse for him the game was at the Coliseum. Yeah, because it was in Brooklyn, it'd probably be a little different. Like, but that arena, I mean, their fans are right on you.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. You go back for that first time, it's, you can build it, you can quiet it all out, but they were on him. I mean, it just showed you also how passionate the Islander fans were. I mean, it's good for the fans. I mean, at least they showed they cared. But yeah, JT, I mean, it was, you knew it was coming, and that's fine. I mean, those are one of those games you don't want no whistles. Just you want this game to go as quick as it can and get the fuck out of there.
Hey, so I was talking to our buddy there last night, Darren McCarty, and Darren told me to ask you about the donkey in Russia. Can you fill us in on that?
Oh, fuck. I think it was more of a mule. We go to
ask him about the donkey in Russia.
Me and him he just did one of my story times, and we started dying laughing because what happened was that we go to Igor Larionov's retirement game in Russia. It was during the lockout. So this thing was, I mean, guys, I can't even explain. Me and Mac were still just dying, like, how first class this was. Like, they flew us all down first class. Igor flew everyone down first class. We go to Russia. It's the equivalent of going with, like, probably Michael Jordan anywhere. And I mean, probably even bigger. I mean, that's how big, like, him and Fetisov and some of those guys are. So we're there, and me, Pandolfo, I think Marty Brodeur got invited. He wasn't there yet, but it was basically me and Jay. I think Patty Elias got invited too, but he wasn't there. But it was me and Jay were the only, like, non-Red Wing guys, really. And that was that's a close unit group, guys. And Mac, I think he wasn't drinking. And but anyway, he kind of took us in. Like, we were kind of the outcasts. But anyway, so we're hanging out with the Red Wing guys. Me, Mac, Draper, I don't know, Maltby was there, LaPointe, and we're bellied up at this bar. We have to go to this the first night of event, and thank God it didn't happen. But you know, it's Moscow, Russia. There's this guy doing a performance. It's not a performance like that, but like there's this mule there, and people are taking pictures, and I don't know, the mule's doing tricks or whatever. And we've had a couple in us, and I think there's a picture we can't find it, but me, Drapes. I think me, Drapes are on the mule. We're getting pictures, you know, whatever. And what happens is we convince the guy, we give the guy money. We're like, me and Mac, I don't know, I think it's probably his idea. He's like, we should walk into this event with you on the mule. And I was like, fuck yeah, like how funny, maybe it's not, but how funny would that be? Like, let's do it. So dude, we're walking with this fucking mule down the street. We pay this guy off. And you know, some hits you sometimes in life where maybe that ain't the best idea to do. And I don't know, because it hit us right then and there, where we were like, I don't know if we should walk in with the fucking mule or this fucking donkey mule or whatever, because I don't know if Iggy would, like, this might be bad. And we give the guy the money. And we're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do this. Like, senses came in, and fuck, when we walked into this place, I mean, if we would have walked in with the mule, we would have probably been, our tickets, the KGB probably would have got us out right there. We would have flown home right away. Yeah. Oh, dude, because it was that night. It would be like walking into like the White House with the fucking mule. Like it was that like, and me and Mac remember looking at each other and like, holy shit, thank God. Like, thank God we didn't even attempt to do it. Because I mean, it was just, I mean, I'm sure the story doesn't do it justice, but if you saw how tanked we were, or I was, and I mean, we thought it was a good idea. But no, that would have not been good. Let's put it that way.
Every great story starts out with "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
And
should we be doing this?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's right when we got to the door. Like, I don't know if someone looked at us or something, but it was like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this. Like this, it went from us laughing for about 2 blocks with this fucking mule to like getting to the door and like, no. Oh yeah, there's something inside was like, this is not a good idea. And once we walked in, it was like, oh man, it was a sign of relief for like, thank God it didn't happen. Like, I don't think he would have liked that too much.
Scotty, how did you get invited to that?
I played with when I was honored. I played with Eagle Ayanov. He was with the Devils, and I just gotten my own seat on the bus. So I'm chirping everyone like, yeah, motherfuckers, you know, I'm in the back. I finally got my own seat. And because I'd always share with someone, but Iggy just got traded, or not traded, he signed with us. And Iggy gets on the bus for the first time, comes to the back where I'm sitting, basically looks at me like, move over, kid. I'm like, so all the boys loved it because I was just telling everyone, yeah, that's right, my own seat. And then what are you gonna say to Igor Leonov? I'm like, fuck, but
yeah. Let me get out of your way.
Yeah, out being the greatest things I learned. Oh man, I almost was like, here, do you want this seat to yourself? Like, fucking no. I was awesome. I heard this. I got to hear stories about, you know, old days in Russia. He just be like a mentor to all of us. It is true that we talk about one of the classiest individuals ever. So we became good friends, and then Pandolfo was, you know, me and him that's my boy. So we became really close with Iggy, and he told us, he's like, next year there's going to be a lockout, and we were like, there is, and he's like, it's going to go on for the whole year. And he's like, you two are invited to my retirement game in Russia. And it's still not only an honor, but it's still one of the greatest trips ever. And all the guys that we went, yeah, we can't talk about it because it was just so first class there. And wow, what an incredible week.
What was your rookie party like?
I was going to ask that too.
Rookie party was in Phoenix. The only problem about Phoenix is the bars close early. Like they close at like 1 or 2. So anyway, so you go to dinner, you know, I knew my credit cards were going to work because I think that that's going to go at, because Marty, their limit, it all goes by guy's limit. So I don't think anyone was higher than $5,000. So that was our limit. So I think I even brought a check. I had like a check with me, and so anyway, yeah, you're in there, and you know, I'm glad I didn't get too wasted in the beginning, because guys are like, enjoy this. I don't know what to say, but yeah, you get the odd guy, he's ordering, you know, 8 bottles of Cristal. It's like, do we really need that? Whatever. You sit there and enjoy it. But afterwards, yeah, the festivities were pretty fun. But it's like anything, any guy that will tell you, every rookie meal, unless you have the wine and everything set up perfect, on what I mean. The greatest thing after is to watch the guys argue about the bill, because you got some drunk hockey players arguing with the managers of like, some high-end steakhouse that and each guy's got a different way. Well, this should be charged. It's like you have like a grade 5 education. What the fuck are you like? It just kept going and going. It was like, come on, let's go, let's get out of here. It's time to go. It's time to go party. But yeah, the next day is your rookie party or the practices. I mean, yeah, I mean, depending on your coach, but just the fact you got to get up. And I think Larry was so great that, I think Larry, it was Robbie still, but I mean, we did like 3 laps around the rink and was like, okay, get off. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't that crazy. I mean, I've heard of other crazier ones, but it was a great time. I mean, you do get to taste some wine and everything that you normally wouldn't order in a restaurant, but it was great.
Oh, that was Robbie Furtoric, right? The coach.
Yeah, Robbie was he got fired at the end. Yeah, Robbie. I mean, he was the coach, but the next day at practice, we depending on your coach, because one rookie meal we were in LA, we had Pat Burns, and same thing. We just thought we were gonna go to the rink and do a couple of laps, and fucking Burns he put in practice. It wasn't good, but it was that we went out west like on a 7-game, and we let them losing streak, because I think that I think practicing after that was a good idea. Like, I mean, you see guys are just it's yeah, some guys can't handle their own the next day of practice, and because you don't really think you're going to practice, but we ended up having a fucking a good bag session, that's for sure.
Is there like any of those like later on in your later years in like there that got a little out of hand? Like, you don't have to drop any stories. Was there any that got?
No, we got it. Yeah, we got once in Tampa. We got a little out of hand where I don't know, like it got to the point where it wasn't out of hand because we were pretty, but like I think put it this way, the manager was pissed off because I don't know, he probably wasn't used to. I mean, no one was rude or anything. It's just a couple guys were wasting when he got in there. The manager was just kind of, he didn't really realize that we were in the room by ourselves. Like, leave us alone. Like, he was trying to play cop. Maybe a couple guys told him F off, whatever. But he ended up calling. He thought he was calling Larry Robinson, the coach, and he ended up calling Lou Lamoriello. So Lou found out. So we had to there was like 4 or 5 of us that had to go back the next day and apologize to this guy. And this fucking toolbag sat us down, and we got reprimanded by, and not that it's wrong, I mean, he's a manager, but he was talking to us like we were like in kindergarten, like telling us how to act. And it was just like, fuck off, buddy.
You got a finger wagging. So Scott, have you ever been pranked in the NHL?
I've ever been pranked. I trying to think. We didn't really have a team that was big into pranks. It was more like, and plus I was one of those guys too that don't mess with my stuff. I don't mess with yours. Like, so when guys got pranked, if they did or whoever, I was always one of the guys that people probably assumed did it. But once you got to know me, they're like, no, Gomer wouldn't do that because he just doesn't want to get pranked himself. But actually, one time, Joe Newendike and Jamie Langburner, they, me and Jay Pandolfo came home, and it was pretty late, like 2 or 3. We didn't have a game the next day. It was some team party. And yeah, we got back to the room, and it finally happened where Newey and Langenberg, we didn't find out till later, but everything in our room was in the bathroom. The beds, everything. I mean, I don't even know, guys, if the bedding outline, the skeleton of it was, I think everything was in the bathroom. You heard about stories about that, like how guys would fit everything in that. And there is no worse feeling when you come home shit-faced. You just want to get passed right out, and you get to your room, and it's
sleep on the
empty.
floor.
Well, no, I mean, I don't even know. No, I mean, at that point, I think we got lucky because of there was a room, like we had to go get a room. We got it, but it was pretty impressive. I mean, I think everything was in the bathroom. Like me and Jay were just, maybe we had a couple too many, but it was, I give credit for that. But no, pranks, I kind of wasn't the guy that I just kind of stayed away from stuff like that. Like, I know that also Newey and Newey and Lipper to the great late Pat Burns, and Burnsy wouldn't admit it, but that's how much balls. And like Joe Newendike, one of the greatest leaders, everything. But he's also the man where I think at a time they would order room service for Pat Burns at like 2 in the morning, and it get delivered. And that's how like stubborn Burnsy was. Burnsy didn't say anything, but so those two just kept going on with it until like I forgot what happened, but yeah, and I thought like I just hope Burnsy didn't. I think he knew I was that scared of him at that point where he knew I would have done something like that. But I always thought that was pretty funny. Newey, because Newey and Lipper finally told me and Jay that like, yeah, they felt, Newey felt comfortable enough. But yeah, he told us, it was like, wow, man, you got some balls on you.
Who was the biggest fuck you match you've ever been in with? Like coaches wise?
Pat Burns. Yeah, Pat Burns was yeah, it was and that's what he kind of wanted to it finally got to that where it was you want to see what you had. Like again, it just got to my pushing point, and it was right outside of a NHL security meeting. So all the guys are waiting for me so they could hear everything, and I'm just like, fuck, he's telling me to fuck, I'm telling him to fuck off, and then he's like, you want out of here, you go tell the big guy you want out of here. And I'm like, you go fucking upstairs and tell him, because you're the one that wants me out of here. Anyway, it got to the point where I got, I could talk some shit where I was saying it back, and Burnsy finally stood up, and he's like, shut the fuck up. Say one more word. He's like, say one more word. Say
He's
one more word.
Man.
Oh man, he's scary. He's the man. Like Burnsy was the man. Like and the cop, and he's probably one of the only human beings that, besides like probably going up with my parents, but that told me to say one more fucking word and find out what happens. And I didn't say another word, but I held my ground. So I leave his office and I'm walking out, and I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna fucking leave. Like I'm not going to that meeting. And I get all the way down halfway the hall, and he's like, oh no, where the fuck you think you're going? And I'm like crying at this point. I don't know what to say. And I turn around. I'm like, I got to get something from my car. And that's all I could come up with. So I went out to my car and like cried for about 2 minutes. I had to come back in, and I had to sit at this fucking meeting. Everyone knows that me and Burnsy went at it. So yeah, it was, he was the master though, man. That guy was awesome.
He was awesome. I loved him in Toronto. Like he was just the best shit, like when he had John Cordick, you know what I mean? Like he dealt with him, like, and that guy was the toughest at one time in the NHL, like he'd punch your head right off your shoulders. But because he was a cop and he knew, like how to get through to people, he said he tried to.
He was great. He was a legend, man. He was he's the best there was.
Scott, listen.
He also created monsters though, because like after you go through Burnsy, when another coach or something would try to act tough or anything, you're like, yeah, no, that doesn't work. Like over there. Once you had Pat Burns, the master, chewing once you got him chewing your ass out, everyone else was puppy chow compared to Pat Burns. I'll put it to you that way.
Okay, listen, I don't want to do it, but like I have to ask, you had at fucking one point, you had quite the slump. Like, how was it just breaking out of it? Because I seen the goal. It was a nice goal, like perfect fucking shot. But like, how good did it feel to break that?
It wasn't even good. It was just to the fact that it was kind of like, it was, I mean, it's still the fact that it happened. It wasn't like, woohoo, it's off my shoulders. I mean, it was still something that you're literally like, how the fuck did that happen? I still can't explain it to this day. I mean, but it was also like a learning lesson in life or anything where, you're up like this. So you don't think anything's down there. And then, man, once you're down there, you realize that like, wow, it could happen. I mean, it happened to me. And still like people ask when I was coaching with the Islanders and, sorry about that. No, Jordan Emberley, Ebbs asked me, I was like, kid, if I had an answer for you, I'd literally, but it wasn't like it was like relief. It was still like, how the fuck did that happen? You learn a lot. You learn about yourself. You learn about teammates. You learn about all ex-teammates. You learn about, I mean, there was guys, I had a lot of vets that still called to find out, not how I was doing about hockey, just about how I was doing in life. And that was always special to me. I had guys that guys that cared. I had guys, but to sit here and say, oh, it was a relief, it's over. I could, no, I mean, you're, especially the only thing that I can say that saved me was, and I learned from Pat Burns and Joe Noondike. When I was at the Devils, I'd always read the papers about myself in the planes. And I remember Burnsy one time was very adamant about don't read that shit because one day it's going to come back, and just get in the mindset right now, don't read it. And I was like, and I remember Joe Noondike too was also like, don't the quicker you learn not to read anything about the media, you never know if you go to play in Canada, you never know if you gotta. And I don't know, from some odd reason, I just stopped. I literally stopped reading the papers and stuff. So even when I went to New York, and by the time I got to Montreal, I never read the media. Half was in French. But I was way past that.
Yeah.
And it saved me, man. Who knows? I probably would have jumped off a bridge, because I mean, I'd get in the elevator and I'd see like, people. I'd be with people and like they were just like, oh my God, like I can't believe you're even out in public. I can't believe you're walking around, it's being said about you. And I didn't know. So I didn't, and I would never give, and I always told the young guys that too. I mean, I'll never give one of those pigeons. I mean, yeah, we need the writers, hey, this, whatever, but a lot of it, you don't play the game. It was something that I went through. It's something that also that, like I said, you never want anyone else to go through that. I mean, so yeah, it's good to talk. It's good to be there for people. It's good to, everyone was always, the worst part was friends and family were like, I didn't want anyone feeling sorry for me, because, hey, this is my thing, so I'll get out of it. But I think one of the best lines I told a buddy was, he called me and, how you doing? And I'm like, hey man, it's been Saturday my whole life. It's been Saturday since I've been in the league. I'm like, I finally know what it's like to be, I finally know what it's like to go to work on a Monday. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So we got a cracker, but no, I've never, I'm glad I went through it, maybe whatever. I look back, I mean, it was tough, but I do admit it wasn't like, oh, that's over. No, I was like, fuck everyone. Here we go.
It's probably hard to fucking play through, man. Like, that's tough.
Well, it wasn't. It was just harder because like a lot of people didn't. You're looking at guys like, I could dish the puck with the best of them. Now guys don't want to play. Like, it's like anything. It's like I had the plague. No one else wanted it. And it was also, it wasn't like our team was doing any good. So the more media attention I'm taking away from everyone is probably better for some guys, and that's fine. Hey, I'm a big boy. I get paid. It's part of the game. But you look back, and I mean, it became a joke. I'm in Montreal. I'm at the arena and stuff. And I mean, they're giving out free fucking chicken wings and stuff if I don't score or this, and people are dressing up as the game, as like sombreros and it became a joke where I'm literally sitting there and I'm looking at these pigeons that are dressed up as Mexicans. I'm like, okay, they're really like, all right, so I never gave in to, I wouldn't give anyone, like, it was a dark, deep place that, but at the end of the day, I had to get through it. And I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about other teammates, learned a lot. And I think that's the main thing. It also put me to a point where there's nothing that ever could happen in this game that I didn't go through. And that was something that I, there's always a positive of something that, and hey, like I said, when I talk to a young guy or when I tell him this, I mean, yeah, I can tell you both sides of the street, brother. And, so that's the positive I took out of there. But I never was mad at Montreal, the people there. I mean, I still got great friends. I had people that cared. It was just the other, like I said, I was taking a lot of heat for, and, the money thing, obviously, but it wasn't like we were a playoff team. So a lot of guys think they were having a great year, but the best part was I was taking all the heat for them, and so be it.
Yeah, that's a great answer, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was a fucking lightning. Like did you hear Voracek? Was it Voracek?
Yeah, it was Voracek.
Went off on that reporter.
Did you hear what he said to him?
No, I didn't.
Weasel, fucking, like, it doesn't matter what he asked him a question. Voracek just was like, you know what? It doesn't matter what I say. You're gonna print whatever you want because you're a fucking weasel.
Oh, right.
He didn't say fucking. But he put it right back in his lap. Like you're a.
It's also though, like I just kind of, and it's different probably for Voracek because he's a great guy. Like, and maybe the language is different. But my thing was also like, You know, I grew up in the Lou Lamoriello school, the Pat Burns, the Larry Robinson. Like, I would never give one of those guys credits. I would never give Socrates. I would never give one of those guys credit. Like, I think that's what they want.
Yes.
I mean, you're seeing guys. I think that's what they, because why you're giving a reaction. It
Right.
pisses, you know, it pisses them off big time when you weren't. And like when I was going through it, people were trying to poke at me to try to get it. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, no, unless it comes from, you know, a Lou Lammer, unless it comes from one of my peers or you know, someone that really big in the game that's going to tell me, then I'll listen. But, you know, and that's your job. That's fine. That's your job. But I'm not gonna sit there and, because that's what you're waiting for. Because why? It gives you credit. Because I remember I was at a restaurant one time and a guy goes, he's laughing at me, and he said, and I'd go to the same spot. He's kind of in the back, and he's laughing because he says he's got more goals than me, and he's playing men's league, and no one really talked to this guy. Like, he was kind of a bigger edge. He basically was chirping me about how he's got more goals than me, and like, you know, he's got the table around him, and I just dropped my knife and fork, and I said, buddy, like, I've got one goal. I've got one goal in the NHL. That means I will always have more goals than you'll ever dream of having. And he just, it's like it dawned on him for the first time. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Did you just chirp a pro athlete? Like, hey, I might not be doing it, but yeah, you're comparing your men's league stats to mine. Like, come on. But yeah, I mean, and that's, but I was the one laughing, and it kind of pissed him off. But I was living there. I was sitting there just laughing, like, oh my God, do you really think that's going to bother me? No,
bro, I've won the fucking cup. What have you done?
Well, I wouldn't, but that's the thing. I wouldn't even get into it. It was like, okay, yeah, hey, good for you. I would never go up to, you know, I would never go up to a Major League Baseball player. Yeah, I would never. Yeah.
Beer league.
Yeah, it's like me going up to a Major League Baseball player making fun of a guy that hit 190. Like, are you kidding me? He's in the major leagues. Like, what? You know, yeah, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, yeah. You know.
Hey, so gotta ask you, if you had to choose right now, Scotty, who's gonna win the cup this year? Who do you like?
I'll be honest with you, I don't even know. One time I wasn't one of those big high. I mean, yeah, I like to say the Islanders. I mean, hey, I know the guys there.
Did you say the Islanders?
I mean, you know, I know some of the boys, coach those guys. I'd love to see those guys.
He was a coach guys.
There. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I'd love to see, you know,
that's hard.
Whoever. I'd like to see Montreal. Luke Richardson's on behind the bench. Boston, Pandolfo. Love to see the Devs. I'm really, guys. When it comes to that, once I'm out of the game.
Are you going to mention business team too?
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, Demir's great friend of mine. So yeah, anyone that it's more guys. I was one of those where if you got buddies on the team, those are the guys. Hey,
everybody.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him win the cup. You want to see your friend win the cup? I could care less, dog.
You too, Scotty. What's it like?
And you got to ask me a lot of questions. What you just ask? Every question you start with, I gotta ask.
Sorry, man. I just thought.
Don't say sorry.
What's it like hanging out with those guys? Whit, Biz, like, what are all those guys like?
Oh, they're great. I mean, what they've done, it's awesome. It's great. And like when I played with Whit a little bit. I've always known him. Even, Biz. I mean, we played against each other on the ice. We always kind of talked, and like I told those guys, it's awesome what they're doing. It's great for our game. It's great for you guys. I mean, you guys, it's great for everyone. They're promoting the game, but they're also, look where you guys have kind of got the same concept. It's good for everyone. I mean, yeah, I mean, when you're around those, I was in the studio, so I was lucky. Yeah. And I mean, some of the stories we were saying off the air were even better. But it's like anything, man. You get any hockey players around, and especially when you're done with the game, and when you're done with the game, and you get to be around people that you grew up, had the same kind of atmosphere, background. Because like one of the hardest things when you retire is you have to go to dinner with other people now. And when you say a joke that when you're around hockey players and you're like, oh my God, that fucking joke would have killed. And now you're saying it around people that don't get it. And the whole table just shuts up. You're like, oh, fuck. The older guys will warn you at first. You're like, hey, that's when you know you're not around the guys. So every time you get to be around the boys or whoever it is, even around old hockey players, you kind of loosen up and you can be yourself more. And that's why it's fun being around, even talking to you guys. You guys have been around hockey, guys, so you know it.
We love the game. We love you guys. You know what I mean? Like our podcast is based after all the local teams around here. Like
yeah.
we're in the southwestern Ontario part, and you know, like
Junior
it's
teams.
just so many amazing hockey players have come out of this area, and we get bonuses by getting you NHL guys on here.
Oh no, and that's the
Fantastic.
thing. It's our job to, it's our job to give back to guys like you, the guys that love the game, the guys that, McCarty asked me what I do. I said, hell yeah, I do it. I mean, it's, it's also the era I grew up with, the guys I grew up with is, you give back. I mean, you're there to help out. I mean, sometimes time restrictions or whatever doesn't work, but hey, our goal is to promote the game, give back to guys like you, and hopefully, we see you guys on TV or something one day, getting paid. But you guys are buying the drinks.
I know it. It'll be a cable show if anything.
Yeah, well, it's gonna have to.
Like a local cable show or something.
Hey,
We'll get all
Wayne's
these
World.
sponsors. And,
Wayne's World started out that way, so you guys are probably too young for that. So yeah.
Do you have anything else for him, or
if you could leave us with another Pat Burns story, that would be fantastic.
Oh fuck. Yeah, let me think. Yeah, I mean it's Burnsy, fuck. Well, I don't know if I said it on show, but did you guys hear the trade deadline one?
I don't think so. I don't think.
Okay, so this is when Pat. So we just had our 20-year reunion, and so it's funny because I think we were all in. If you're around all the guys, it's funny how each guy remembers it different. But I mean, we were all there. So Burnsy, it's the trade deadline. We're in Pittsburgh, and I don't know if things are going that well. And when I say not going that well, it's like the Devils back then. It's like we've lost 2 in a row, or lost. It's So Burnsy goes. The coaches weren't allowed to eat with us. It's like Lou's rule. Like, in case so guys might not feel that they could say, which I never understood. But anyway, it's breakfast time. It's trade deadline, and Pat Burns comes in. And Burnsy walks in, and John Madden, dog, is right by the eggs. And this is what makes it so funny. So dog's like getting the scrambled eggs right here, and Burnsy's in the room, and everyone's like kind of shocked that a coach is in the room. And Burnsy's like, "Oh yeah, it's my fucking favorite time of the year. It's my favorite day of the year." And guys are like, what the fuck? Like, and I'll never forget because John Madden's like, just the eggs are just stopped. He hasn't even put them on his plate. He's just looking at them, and Burnsy's like, "Oh yeah, my favorite part of the year. Because I know some of you motherfuckers are going to be gone. Won't have to see you guys after today." And I mean, just like everyone just stopped. Like, I mean, yeah, like, and John Madden with his eggs wouldn't even pour it on his plate. It was just literally like, I mean, who says that? Only Pat Burns. But my favorite day of the year is the trade deadline because some of you fucking assholes ain't going to be here.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was Burnsy, man. He was the best. Best there is.
That was such an awesome story. I can't stop smiling.
Oh,
But I really hope that. Oh, one more question. Let me just ask this one.
No problem.
Okay, so if you were to have a goal scoring song, what would it be? Like your walk up music in baseball, your goal scoring song?
It's funny because everyone out here,
already.
Everyone in LA hates that. I love LA. You know that song? I don't know if you guys know it, but
yeah,
that's what they used to play when the Kings scored, and I fucking loved it. I was sitting there, and one time we got pumped. I don't know what team, but we got pumped by like 5 goals, and I just thought it was the greatest thing. Just hearing it again and again, but it'd have to be I don't know. You'd have to work in it. It'd have to be a Stone song, a Rolling Stone song, maybe like Jumpin' Jack Flash or Give Me Shelter or something like. So yeah, it'd definitely have to be a Stone song. Like I'd go with that.
Dude, I must say, I think you're the one that has answered that the fastest.
Because everybody just goes,
everybody goes, no.
Well, because I was one of those guys you got to think about. I mean, it's like watching I remember going to Yankee games and Derek Jeter walking up to the plate and they're playing, what's that song by 50 Cent? I Got the Magic Stick. I was like, Jesus Christ, yeah, like, I mean, yeah. So you'd always think about stuff like that. Like, man, if I was in the major leagues, what song would I go up to? But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I always thought about hockey. I mean, I was a daydreamer in hockey, that's for sure.
All right, Scotty, seriously, man, thank you. This has been fun.
All right, boys, and to Brandon, hey, we're all behind him. I'll get that out to you guys. I'll get that, but the Brandons, we're all part of his army, and we got your back, brother, and let's hope for the best, and like I said, with Brandon, we're all there for you, kiddo. So don't ever feel alone. And I'll
Awesome.
get that out to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Scotty.
All righty, boys. All right,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
And there he is, folks, Mr. Scotty Gomez. Carlos, shall we say? That dude, I had so much fun during that interview. I didn't realize that I kept saying, gotta ask you. I was like, well, every question's a gotta ask questions when it's Scotty fucking Gomez, right? I didn't even realize. He's like, bro, just stop saying I gotta ask you, just ask the question. I'm like, sorry, man. Like, I'm geeking out interviewing you here. Fuck.
He's a total beaut, eh?
Yeah, he was awesome, man. So thank you, Scotty, and thank you, Darren McCarty, once again, because Darren hooked us up with Scotty. So huge shout out to Darren as well. So on that note, I want to ask you like one little thing, Rob. Who is the team who's kind of like shocked you so far? Like, who's the team that made you go
Ottawa?
Yeah, like that team that made you go whoa.
Well, Ottawa fucked my Leafs, right?
Yeah, they did. For me, man, it's Montreal. Like, you know what I mean? Montreal's 4-0-2, 29 goals for, 18 against. So they're up 11 goals. Well, in the green, 11 goals. But they just, all their big guys are scoring, man. So Drouin's 1-5 for fucking 6 points. Tyler Toffoli right now, oh my God, is going off in Montreal right now. He's got 8 points already. Like, they're firing on all cylinders, man. Jake Allen's been good there too. He's got a over 900 save. It's just, I don't know, man. They're my team right now in the fucking North, man. They're just, I don't know. We'll see what happens down the stretch here. Maybe when the Leafs get a little more like healthier, but with Leafs they're not far behind, but they're 4-0-2 right now, the Habs. Who's your flop? Like, who's your team who's like, what the fuck is going on right now?
I don't know that I have one. You know, like when it comes right down to it, like, fuck my Leafs. I'm telling you, they're winning the cup, bro. I'm telling you, they're winning the cup.
Do you just have that feeling?
They're so impressive. Matthews gets hurt. Joe Thornton gets hurt. What do the Leafs do? They come out and win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then they go and beat fucking Calgary, and pardon my French. They go and beat Calgary, and I don't know. I'm just so impressed. I'm so impressed.
Do you just have? Is it like? Do you just have that like feeling in your gut?
I told you that before. Like, I want to say, like, last interview, when we talked about it, like, these guys are the real deal.
I think they are too, man. And I'm a fucking like Wings fan, like, you know, but Toronto they are good, but they just got to maintain, like, you know what I mean? They got to stay healthy. That's going to be the key.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Ant. So, you have all your divisions. You have your North Division, which that's all I've been watching. I haven't watched any other hockey.
That's all I've watched outside of the Wings.
Like Scotty Gomez said, every night is Saturday night.
That is true.
Right? Yeah. So let's bring it right back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is coming out of this division?
How many teams? Like 3 or whatever?
No. Who's coming out of the North?
Who's coming out? Oh, who's coming out of the North?
Out of the North?
Oh.
That's all I'm asking. I don't give a shit about any of the other ones.
No. It's a great question. It's also kind of a loaded question too. But if I had,
because I know how much you like the Montreal.
I do like the Habs, but if I had to bet on it, if I had to put money on it, and it's by how things are going, the moves they made, just everything overall, as much as I hate to say it, I'm picking the Leafs to come out. So, you know what I mean? I just like, and I'm not a Leafs fan, but I watch the Wings all the time. Obviously, I'm a huge Wings fan, but outside of that, the North is all I've watched.
Me too.
Like that's all I've watched. Just the games
Bro,
are
me too.
the games are always good. And of course, being a Wings fan, I watch every Red Wing game. Okay, I do. Anyone I can watch, I watch. But like if they're not on or the game's over or whatever, I'm watching the North Division all the time. So yeah, man, that's what I would have to say. So I'm sure that's probably the answer you because you knew, like this motherfucker's gonna say Toronto, and I know he's gonna say Toronto. So that's why Rob's like, I'm gonna ask him.
Well, you have to.
And going back to what I said, the team that I think is a flop is Vancouver right now. Because they should be way better. Way better. They're just like, dude, one of their top guys is a -7. No, it was Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is -7.
And Patterson is
it leads the
fucking
team.
terrible right now.
He's got 2 points. He's got a goal and an assist.
He can't figure his shit out.
He's young too, but you got to play through that shit, man. Right? Like you got to just hope you just play through it and you'll get a bounce and then everything opens up. Floodgates open.
But in all honesty, you're playing in the toughest division ever.
100%. I agree with you.
So
also speaking of the guys in the North, so as I'm doing the notes and stuff for this show last night, so I'm like working and I have it to where I could look past my like screen and I got my overhead thing there, right? So I'm like watching a game and I'm like typing something out or whatever. And I'm like, I looked up and there was like 3 seconds left in the game. I'm like, oh, that game's going to overtime. It was the Oilers and the Jets. So I'm like, okay, the game's going to overtime. I look down, I start typing again. I hear scores. I look up and they're showing the like replay and everything. That sick bastard, Uncle Leo, okay, scored a goal with 0.7 seconds left to go in the third
fucking
period.
drive side away.
So like
he's a dirty dog.
So yeah, I was like, it reminded me of who was it last year in the playoffs? Was it Kadri who scored that goal like almost at the buzzer? I think it was him, right?
Yeah.
So I was just like, wow. Like that's pretty, it was insane, dude. It was just like a last minute or last shot on net, man. It just found its way through, I guess. Moving on from that, guess who's coming back on Saturday against Washington? David Pastrnak is back. After he had hip surgery on September 16th, he had surgery. And it's also going to be the same game that Big Z will play against Boston. That's on Saturday. So that should be interesting. How do you think that will go? If you had to pick a like winner on that, Rob, who wins it? Washington or Boston?
And who's Washington? Oh, it's Washington versus Boston.
Washington and Boston. Chara's first game versus the Bees.
I think he's gonna feel bad.
Why?
The guy he is.
Yeah, true, but then
he's
again,
not gonna play as hard as
I bet he does.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe it's a fuck you. You wanted to give me a like limited role, or you didn't want to sign me, or whatever. Could be one of those too, right? And then they just keep it all hush hush, so nothing looks bad, right?
Yeah, it could be a go fuck your hat guy.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. So we'll see with that. So the Dallas Stars come out of they had everything shut down because of like COVID stuff. They had everything shut down. They're finally allowed to play. They come in the first 2 games they play against Nashville. They smash them 7-0 the first night, and then a few nights later they beat them 3-2. So it looks like they picked up right where they left off. No.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so that was pretty crazy. I was just
what did you think about Corey Perry?
What happened? I didn't see it.
That he potted one.
That he what?
He potted one.
What do you mean?
He potted a goal.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I didn't see, man.
Yeah.
I fucking
He got
probably-
one. He got one. It was his
It was what?
couple of people moving some shit out of my house.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, Corey Perry end up burying one for 750,000.
Mhm.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. So here, real quick before we kind of wrap her up here, I'll give you kind of 20 cool NHL facts that I bet you we fucking probably never knew about, okay? Well,
I bet you I know 19 of them.
Okay. Did you know that the San Jose Sharks, when they freaking came in the league, they were almost I was laughing when I read this. They were almost called the rubber fucking puckies, the rubber puckies. Isn't that I was like,
I did not
is
know that.
Yeah, that was weird. Also, number 19, the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1962, when they won the cup, the Stanley Cup got thrown into a bonfire. Did you know
I
that?
did know that.
You did? Oh, you did know that one? Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured you're a freaking Leafs guy, right? You should know that. Number 18, the Pittsburgh Penguins used to have a real penguin as a mascot.
I did not know that.
Isn't that weird? Number 17, Gary Bettman is the first ever NHL commissioner. He's been there since February 1st, 1993. That's pretty
Say
nice.
that again.
Gary Bettman was the first NHL commissioner. The other guy that you're thinking of had a different name. It wasn't commissioner. He's been the only one with that title, and it's been since February 1st, 1993.
Fuck you, Gary.
Also, did you know that the first outdoor game happened in the desert in 91, LA, and the Rangers played in Vegas?
That's awesome.
Also, number 15, Mark Messier brought the cup to the strip club, but he did it twice. So Mark having a good time, I guess, after he won the cup. Did you know, this one kind of shook me to my core? There's a disaster draft. So you're probably wondering, what the fuck is that, right? So what that is if something tragically happens to a NHL team, or 5 or more guys are killed, so that team would then, they can take guys from other teams and actually pay them with a insurance fund. So once the roster has a goalie and 14 guys, there's then another draft that is unaffected by earlier selected that could be held. So, and each NHL team can save one goalie and 10 skaters, I believe it is. Isn't that fucking weird? Like, if something ever happens, they can just pick guys from each team. That's weird, dude. Number 13, did you know people that work in the front office of NHL teams can be traded?
Like,
You could, okay, let's say you could trade for Scotty Bowman to work in your front office.
that's awesome. Like, it'd be like, what do you call, where,
Or what?
where you going? Okay. When it comes to you know, like all your what do you call it? Management.
Mm-hmm. I know it's nuts, man, but imagine a trade of management people. Like, that'd be weird. Also, number 12, the Buffalo Sabres once drafted a non-existent person. Not even joking.
I don't understand.
They've drafted somebody that was a non-existent person. That person they didn't exist. I don't know, man. I didn't read up on it. I was just scamming the facts, bro. And it was insane. I was like, what the fuck is that?
It was like
what?
what do you call it? What do you call it there? The
Buffalo Sabres select drop dead Fred, like, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something like that.
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
It's weird. And number 11, Seattle's already had an NHL team. In 1974, they had a team. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Say that again.
The city of Seattle, they've already had a team in 1974. Seattle's already had a fucking team. Number 10, the Oilers and the Leafs almost traded cities. Bet you didn't know that one, did you? That's pretty crazy.
How do you mean you trade cities?
They almost took the teams and swapped cities.
Oh, like here,
so the Leafs would be in
what year? What year?
I don't know what year. It was a long ass time ago. I know that. But yeah, they almost took the teams and swapped the cities. It had to have been a long time ago, dude, obviously. Number 9, there is multiple spelling mistakes on the cup. Number 8, a team from Yukon once challenged for the Stanley Cup. In 1905, the Klondike Gold Rush challenged the Ottawa Hockey Club for the cup. Number 7, the injured goalies rule, but we already know about that one, Rob?
Well, I've seen some stuff.
Yeah. So we just won't even talk about that one.
We don't want to talk about it.
A long time ago, the Rangers, this was like early years, but they were once owned by a mobster. His name was Thomas Duggan. He once owned the Rangers. Number 5, 10 goalies have scored goals. That's pretty nuts. Number 4, there's only one guy who's ever played in the NHL who has wore the number 0. Number 3, Canadian teams pay their teams or pay their guys in American money. Isn't that kind of weird? Number 2.
Is it?
I don't know. Who knows? 7 teams have never had a first overall draft pick, and that would be Carolina, Minnesota, Nashville, San Jose, the Canucks, Flames. It was also, there was 2. There was like the Hartford Whalers as well, and Minnesota North Stars. So that's where they got the 7 from. Also, the officials rule. This is the craziest rule I've ever seen in hockey. If all the officials can't finish the game, okay, and that's 2 refs and the linesman, if they can't finish the game, each team assigns 1 guy to be a ref. Did you know that?
I did not.
If all officials can't finish, that means every ref is hurt. They can't finish the game. So what they do is they take 1 guy from each side. The team who's the home team is the ref, and the team who is the visiting team is the linesman. Isn't that weird?
It's crazy as fuck, eh?
So to wrap up the show, seeing that it's your birthday, I thought it'd be kind of cool to look up some guys who have the same birthday as you that have played in the NHL. So Dallas Stars head coach Rick Bowness. It's his
Ricky
birthday.
Bonus.
Yeah. Ricky Bonus.
I really like that guy.
Esa Tikkanen played 877 games in the
Edmonton
NHL.
Oilers.
It's his birthday today. And another Bob, as in Sweeney, he played 639 games in the NHL. And fucking absolute total beaut and legend, Chris Chelios. His birthday is today. He played 1,651 games, 3-time Stanley Cup champion.
That is a total beaut. And
So-
that's something we need to talk to fucking
We're going to talk to D-Mac on that one.
yeah, for sure. The D.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to get him on here with us one day. Hopefully one day we will definitely get him. Rob, seeing it's your birthday, man. Honestly, buddy, happy birthday. Love having you on this show with me, man. You're a fucking total beaut. And we'll keep this shit rolling, brother. And fucking, what do you say we go crush some beers?
It's my birthday.
Don't flex too hard, kid. You'll rip your shirt. I already told you that.
Fuck, I really like this shirt too.
I know. That's why. Don't fucking rip it, man. You're going to rip it. But all right, everybody.
I love it. I want to say thank you to everybody. Like everybody that gave me the shout out. And I just, you know, you have no idea. We do this all for you.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with it.
Nope.
It has everything to do with all y'all.
Yeah, we
just so you know.
And don't like we love doing this. I love doing this. This is so fun. I love it. It's a good time. It's, you know, times where I can sit here with you and we can shoot the shit about hockey. We can crush a couple beers and fucking good, just go in the top 100. Like, what the fuck? Why not? Right?
Well, hey, just remember, all y'all can get us to the top 25.
Yeah, you could.
If you want to do that,
you could.
just keep it up.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. And everybody,
I'd love to be in the top 25.
Me too. I would love that, especially coming from this area, right? Like, this area is like, nobody really realizes how great this area is when it comes to hockey. Like, how many like absolute legends have came out of this area when it comes to hockey.
Bro, we're the best when it comes to the top 25.
We're the hub.
We are.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. It's great. And honestly, like, I don't know. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing ride. Let's get a big push here. Let's move the boys up the list. Guys, recommend us to your friends. Anybody, any beaut, as we would say in your life, recommend the boys. Tell them, listen to the show. Give us a try. We're a good time. It's all good. On that note, Ant and Rob, we're going to sign off here. We're going to go have some birthday beers with Rob here. So until next week, everybody, we'll talk to you. See ya.